All right, so today we're diving into something that I think we all have an opinion on.
Okay.
Um, Celebrities who were once like the biggest thing,
Yeah.
totally adored,
hmm
but now, I think most people would say have fallen from grace.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really fascinating how that happens.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, the individual personalities either. I think it really reflects a lot on like how fickle fame can be,
hmm
how public opinion, shifts so easily and frankly like how much we sort of, I don't know, build up these illusions around these people.
Yeah, and to break this down,
Yeah.
we are using a list
Okay.
from the top10s.com,
Right.
and it's titled Once Loved Celebrities Who Are Now Hated.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is really interesting because it is a list that's compiled from public votes.
Right.
So it really gives you a sense of kind of like how,
The general consensus.
yeah, like the general consensus
Mhm.
and how much our perceptions can change.
And what I think is so interesting about this list is the variety.
Yes.
You've got people from all different fields like comedy, music,
Yeah.
acting,
Mm-hmm.
different eras. You've got Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
Kanye West, R. Kelly, J.K. Rowling, even newer figures like Blake Lively.
It's a real mix. It's really interesting.
It is.
So this isn't just about like gossiping about celebrities.
Right.
It's about understanding like why
Exactly.
this happens and what it says about us.
Yeah, it really prompts us to think about our own relationship with celebrity culture.
Yeah.
Like, how do we deal with these really public downfalls?
Oh.
Fascinating.
Okay, so let's start with the rise and fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people on this list had this huge success,
Yeah.
and we're practically worshipped
Totally.
early on, and then
They were at the top of their game.
yeah,
And then suddenly
and then face this
yeah,
huge
backlash. Yeah. It's like this real-time cautionary tale. The higher you climb, the further you can fall.
Yeah.
And the impact, I mean, it can be devastating, not just for their careers,
Yeah.
but for the fans who loved them.
For the fans who once idolized them.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, for example, like Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was America's dad.
Totally.
He was beloved for his role on The Cosby Show.
Exact.
Wholesome, trustworthy.
Yeah.
Until, obviously, the sexual assault allegations.
Right. And it just completely flipped.
Yeah, total 180
Yeah.
in public perception.
And Cosby's case is actually like a prime example of what psychologists call parasocial relationship.
Parasocial?
Yeah, these
What
one-sided bonds
do we?
we form with, people in the media.
Yeah.
We invest emotional energy, that we project our ideals onto them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that illusion is shattered,
Yeah.
the disappointment
It's huge.
can be really, really profound.
Yeah.
In fact, like there are studies that show that
Oh, wow.
the intensity of our like emotional response to a celebrity's downfall is often linked to how strong that parasocial bond is that we've built.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Isn't it?
So it's not just about, like,
Yeah.
what the celebrity has done.
Right.
It's also about,
It's about us.
yeah, like how,
Yeah, our own psychological investment.
yeah, our investment in their persona.
Exactly.
And that makes me wonder, I mean, are these falls from grace
Mm-hmm.
solely the result of the individual's actions?
Right.
Or does the public kind of play a role in this?
That's a question researchers have been trying to figure out for years.
Really?
Yeah.
Like we build them up and then,
I mean, some argue that we as a culture were complicit in creating this whole cycle of adoration and disillusionment.
oh, that's so interesting.
Right, like we crave those stories of like triumph and redemption,
Yeah.
but we're also totally fascinated with
Yeah, with the downfall.
the downfall.
Yeah, like it's almost like we're setting them up for failure.
Yeah, you could say that.
And then when you look at the reasons behind these downfalls,
Yeah.
it's clear that there's not just one reason why this happened.
No, it's a whole mix.
Yeah, so let's break it down.
Okay.
The list highlights several categories of transgressions.
Okay.
First, you've got cases where there are criminal charges.
Right.
Like R. Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
Dean Watkins, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
These are obvious.
Serious situations.
Yeah, super serious situations.
Yeah, where the justice system is involved.
Where the justice system is involved. But what's interesting is that public opinion
It isn't
often
parallel.
yet runs parallel to the legal proceedings and sometimes even influences them.
Totally. And, the court of public opinion, it can be so swift and unforgiving.
Yeah.
And with social media now,
Right.
it's even more powerful.
Yeah, it's like this whole other layer. So like we saw with R. Kelly, years of allegations and whispers, and then online, it just blew up.
It blew up, yeah.
Leading to renewed scrutiny and ultimately legal action.
And legal action, yeah.
So social media is like this digital courtroom now.
It really is.
And these celebrities are being tried and judged in the public eye.
And those verdicts can be harsh.
Yeah.
And they can be irreversible. Like reputations can be tarnished.
Yeah.
Even before all the facts are out there.
Wow.
Or a legal verdict is reached.
That's crazy.
It's scary.
So then you've got those who face backlash because of controversial statements or actions.
Yeah, like Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye West, Roseanne Barr. It feels like every other week there's a new headline.
Totally someone's saying or doing something that just sparks this outrage.
Yeah, it's crazy. And this is where social media plays this kind of
dual role.
Yeah, dual role.
Right, because on the one hand, it gives these celebrities a platform to connect.
Right, directly to their audience.
Yeah, but it also amplifies every little misstep and leads to like this really rapid and widespread condemnation.
And it fuels this whole debate about cancel culture.
Yeah, that idea of someone can be ostracized for their views or their actions, regardless of what their intentions were.
Right.
Or the context.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen. Like
careers
just ended because of one tweet.
One offensive tweet or a video from years ago.
Yeah, and it just comes back.
Resurfaces.
Yeah, and it raises all these questions about like, where's the line for free speech?
Yeah.
And the power of online mobs, and like, is the punishment
was proportional?
Yeah, is it proportional to what they did?
Yeah, it's a huge debate.
It feels like a slippery smoke.
It does.
Where one mistake can just have these lasting consequences.
Yeah, and you know, while holding individuals accountable for their actions is important,
right,
it does feel like a minefield out there.
Yeah.
You know, just navigating.
Comes a discourse.
Yeah, like you're constantly.
Yeah, you have to be so careful.
You do have to be so careful.
About what might be offensive.
Yeah, what might offend someone or be seen as problematic.
And then you have those situations where it's not like a criminal charge or a crazy statement.
Right.
But it's like allegations and really public disputes.
Yeah.
That kind of lead to a downfall.
Yeah.
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah. That's a perfect example.
Immediately comes to mind.
Of how messy it can get, especially when you bring in like the whole public opinion thing.
Oh, my gosh.
With Depp and Heard, you had two huge stars accusing each other of abuse.
Right.
And social media was like a battleground.
Yeah, it was like a war zone.
For their fans.
It was like watching the soap opera play out online.
Totally.
With each side telling their story and the fans just like going crazy.
Yeah, and it was so hard to tell what to believe. Like, who's telling the truth?
Yeah, it was so hard to separate fact from fiction.
Yeah, and that's where you get into this thing called confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah. Basically, we tend to look for information that supports what we already believe.
Oh, interesting.
So, like with Depp and Heard, if you already liked one of them, you'd probably just ignore anything bad about them and believe anything bad about the other one.
So social media kind of makes that worse.
Totally.
Because you're only seeing what you agree with.
Exactly. It creates these echo chambers.
Echo chambers.
Yeah.
That's the term for it.
Where you're just surrounded by people who think the same way.
Yep.
Media scholars call it algorithmic bias.
Algorithmic bias? Wow.
Yeah, basically the platforms use algorithms to decide what you see.
Okay.
And those algorithms, they're designed to show you stuff you already like.
Right. So you're just constantly being fed
the
same stuff.
So you just get stuck in these feedback loops, seeing the same one-sided story.
And then it just reinforces your beliefs.
Totally.
And you're not open to hearing anything else.
It makes you less open to different perspectives.
That's kind of scary.
It is. It's a good reminder to be critical of the information you see.
Especially online.
Especially online, you have to question your own assumptions.
Yeah.
And be wary of stuff that sounds too good to be true.
Right, because sometimes it is.
Often it is.
Okay, so then you've got people whose downfall isn't about scandal so much as like their career choices.
Yeah, or like people think their work isn't good anymore.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's on the list.
Oh, really?
But they actually defend him.
Okay.
So it's more like...
Like maybe his style isn't as popular anymore. That happens. Tastes change.
Yeah, it was funny 10 years ago.
Might not be funny now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so celebrities really need to adapt if they want to stay relevant.
Change with the times.
Keep up with the times, for sure.
And sometimes it's not even that their work is bad.
Right.
It's just like...
What was okay then?
Yeah, like what people found acceptable.
Might be offensive now?
Totally.
Yeah, things change.
So it's not just talent that makes a celebrity successful.
No, it's not just about charisma.
It's about reading the room.
Yeah, navigating those cultural expectations,
Yeah.
which are constantly shifting.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different reasons
We have.
why celebrities can fall from grace.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember
What?
that this list, and public opinion in general,
Right.
it's not always black and white.
No.
There are a lot of gray areas.
Experts disagree.
And there are definitely cases where
People disagree.
the opinions are divided,
Yeah.
like Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah.
Some people think he's awful,
Right.
but he still has tons of fans.
Yeah, who totally support him.
Yeah. And even the list itself says
I know.
that some people think Adam Sandler
Right.
hasn't really fallen from grace.
Exactly. It shows you that you need to think critically.
Yeah.
Don't just believe everything you hear.
And don't rush to judgment.
Yeah, especially when you only know part of the story.
Yeah.
You have to consider different perspectives.
Yeah, it's like being a detective
It's
trying to
just-
solve a mystery.
Totally. You got to look at all the evidence
Yeah.
and be open to the possibility that the truth is more complicated.
Yes. That it seems on the surface.
Exactly. And this is important for how we see celebrities, but also just like how we think about things in general.
Yeah.
Like, in this world where there's just so much information,
Right.
you got to be careful what you believe.
Don't just follow the crowd.
No, think for yourself.
Okay, so we've talked about the fallen stars.
Yeah.
But the list also has these newcomers
Oh, really?
and contenders.
Okay.
Like Blake Lively and Sean Combs
Oh, wow.
are like recent additions to the hated category.
Huh. So it's always changing.
It's constantly changing.
Yeah, which just proves that no one is safe
Right.
from the ups and downs of fame.
Yeah, even the most popular people
Totally.
can fall from grace.
If they mess up.
Yeah. And then you have the contenders,
Okay.
like Elon Musk and Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, they always seem to be stirring up something.
Yeah, like court controversy.
Ah.
So are they headed for a big fall?
I mean, it's hard to say,
Oh.
like, predicting the future is impossible.
Yeah.
But there are some signs you can look for.
Like what?
Like if they keep doing the same thing over and over.
Right.
Or they make one huge mistake.
Yeah.
Or if people just start to like them less over time.
Yeah.
That can lead to a downfall.
And with social media, everything happens so fast.
Yeah, it's like a wildfire.
Yeah. 1 minute you're at the top.
And the
Yeah.
next,
And the next you're
canceled.
you're canceled.
The digital age is ruthless.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Okay, so stepping back from the list for a minute,
Yeah.
what does all this say
About
about our relationships
It's
with them?
so complex. I
Yeah.
mean, we love them. We want to know everything about them.
Yeah, we put them on a pedestal, but then when they disappoint
You
us,
turn on them.
yeah, so quickly.
Yeah. I think it's because of our own desires
Yeah.
and anxieties and also just the power dynamics
Yeah.
between us and them.
It's like this weird
One-sided
relationship.
where we think we know them,
Yeah.
but we really don't.
And then when they show their true selves,
Yeah, it can be really shocking.
yeah, and disillusioning.
Totally.
And then there's the whole question of,
Mm-hmm.
like, their personal lives.
Yeah, like what are we entitled to judge?
Yeah, especially when it doesn't affect their work.
It's a tough question.
It is.
People have been debating it forever. Like, how much should their personal life matter?
Right. Is it fair to judge their art based on their actions?
Exactly.
And social media just makes it harder
It does.
to separate the art from the artist.
You're right, because now we know everything,
Yeah.
which can be good.
Yeah, transparency.
Yeah, but it also means that one little slip up
Right.
can ruin someone.
Yeah, their whole career.
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And this conversation goes way beyond celebrities.
It does.
It's about how we process information,
Yeah.
form opinions,
Yeah.
and just talk about things.
Especially online. Yeah.
In this digital age where everyone has a voice.
A platform.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world.
It is. Yeah, it feels like we're always trying to figure out where that line is.
Yeah.
Like we want to hold people accountable,
Of course.
but we also don't want to like throw out their whole career because of one mistake.
or just because we disagree with them about something.
Yeah. And it feels like online,
Yeah.
the stakes are even higher.
Oh, absolutely. Things can spiral so
Yeah, it's like
quickly.
instant judgment.
It is. And that's why it's so important to talk about this stuff,
Yeah.
to really have these open and honest conversations.
Yeah, to hear different perspectives.
Exactly. And acknowledge that it's complicated.
Yeah, because there's always more to the story.
There is.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into fallen stars and public opinion,
Yeah.
let's recap.
Okay.
What have we learned?
Well, we've seen that there are tons of reasons why celebrities fall from grace.
Yeah, from those serious charges,
Yeah.
such as saying the wrong thing.
Or even just because public taste changes.
Yeah, and we talked about how social media has made it all so much more intense.
Oh, yeah. It's like this digital amplifier.
Yeah, for everything.
Everything good and bad.
So we have to be careful about what we believe online.
And remember to think critically.
Yeah, and be aware of our own biases.
Absolutely, because we all have them.
But this conversation goes way beyond celebrities.
It does.
It's about how we consume information, how we form our opinions.
Yeah, and how we treat each other online.
Yeah, because ultimately...
It all comes back to us.
It does.
Like, how do we want to engage with the world?
Yeah, what kind of digital space do we want to create?
It's up to us.
So as we leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Does the rise of social media make it harder than ever to separate the art from the artist?
It's a good question.
Or does it just give us more information?
Yeah, allowing us to be more conscious.
Yeah, about who we support.
It's something to think about.
It is. There's no easy answer.
No, but it's a conversation worth having.
It is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.